I'm getting good at this. No, I'm really pretty rubbish, really. Okay, so we have a machine. We will be making that little project which I have hidden. So this is the project we will be making. Let's pull that down there. This little purse with two pockets, a front pocket and a back pocket, with a little gusset in the middle. So I'm just trying to think, I hope I can remember how to make it, because I made it a while ago. So let's have a look. I meant to bring my instructions in with me, but never mind. So we're working with two pieces of fabric, and our top piece is 16 inches by 5, I do believe. And my other piece is even longer. It's 20 inches by 3 inches. So what we're going to do, the same thing with both of them. And I think I am going to change my foot. I think more than likely, because I haven't checked my bobbin thread, but I wouldn't put it past me in running out of thread today. But we will, let's see if there's anything else there. No, we'll be fine. So let's put my 1/4 inch foot back on and we'll work normally. Okay, so what we're going to do, both of these the same thing. We are going to, I have already ironed G700 on the back. Now you could use fusible fleece. It makes it that little bit bulkier, and I found that G700 just gives the fabric that bit more body, and it still works really well. So all I've done, as you saw, was fold along the length in half, and we are going to join those pieces at the end. Tell you what I will do, I will put a binding clip there, because we're going to stitch down the edges. We have folded at one end, and I'm going to leave a gap in this top edge, probably about 2 inches, because I want it to pull through easily. So 1/4 inch seam allowance. I've got a 2 as my stitch length, because I think that is a pretty safe stitch length to use. So, and when I start off, I'm going to reverse. Whoops, that's too far. There we go. So we're doing a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm making sure these raw edges here align. So let's stitch down here so that we are always, oh, I know what I didn't do. There we are. Let's see, I didn't enhance my voice today, so I hope you can hear okay. So I stitched down that side, 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm now going to stitch down the other side. Now I always like to stitch towards the fold, so I'm going to start at the top where I'm leaving my gap and reverse there and up to the other side. And again, just make sure just make sure we're keeping those edges aligned all the way to the end. There we go. So I have stitched, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to fold where the opening is back and on the other side. It would be better to actually press it with an iron, but I think that's folding back really quite nicely. It will help when I turn it through. But before I do that, I'm going to set that to the side, and I'm going to do the same with my other piece. So again, bring those raw edges, the short raw edges together, and let's get a binding clip to hold it there, but also that we're going to leave a gap here. So again, I'll probably leave a 3 inch gap along this side. So align that edge beautifully, and let us reverse when we start. One more, and then down this side. So again, just make sure these raw edges align beautifully. And if you want to pin down here, by all means do. But I'm just holding that with my fingers and just going all the way to the end and cutting my thread. So having stitched that side, I'm going to now stitch this side here. So let's, who's that? Right, so let's start to the other side, over to that edge, and so again we're sewing towards the fold. So let's come down here, down here, all the way to the end, and then just reverse. Okay, so we have our gap at the top here again. So I'm just going to, because it's a little bit longer than the other opening, I'm just going to place that down, just give that a little press along that top edge. But as I say, it would be better to go to the iron and give that a press. We'll press the, when we've turned it to the right side, we'll give that a press then. Okay, so that just helps because, you know, this is an edge which is going to be seen. It is much better to be closed really well. So I am going to trim that corner and that corner also, and that corner. Take care not to clip the threads, and that corner. And then while I'm here, I may as well do this side, this piece here, and there, and there. Okay, now we need to turn it through. So let's just start at the folded end, and if we just push that in, so my open end is here, if we push it in here, I might even use a pen because it's wider and blunter. So I'm just pushing that all the way through. I can take that pen out now and pull it this way. Then I'll have something a little bit more pointed and push that down. So easy so far, isn't it? Just make sure that corner comes out nicely. That's come out pretty well at the minute. And up to this corner where we left the opening. So just push that. That one will need a little bit of help with the seam ripper, just to pull that corner out. Probably didn't trim it back very well. So I'm just digging in there and just pulling it up, just so that we get a little bit better corner point there. So just pull that up. So we don't want to break the stitches and we don't want to cut anything, but by pulling that, it just moves it up closer to, so that's better. And then these edges here, may as well do that, because I pressed them back before we turned, look how good that is. So having done that, I'm going to put a little clip on there, and then I'm just going to press these. So let's just roll them open with our fingers. If you just roll those edges to the sides. Now this is where, if you are using fusible fleece, your seams are going to be that little bit more bulky. And this way, with this G700, there's less stress on the machine needle going through these edges. So I can see they're coming out pretty well. Just rolling them with your fingers, and there. So that looks quite good, but I am going to press that in a moment. So we'll take the other one as well. And this one's a little bit wider. So let's just squidge it down to that very end. So here's the folded part, and then just tuck that through our gap like that. And that is easily able to be turned through. Okay, so let's just using my paintbrush, but use your creaser, anything that can just push those corners out. You don't want anything sharp. I try to avoid using my scissors these days, and I think you will too. Once you actually push the scissors through the seam, you'll think that is the last time I'm going to do that. Okay, so this little one needs pushing out now. There we are. So, and then just pull that. Oh, that one doesn't look too bad. And just down at this corner as well, just pull that seam or that corner out there, and a tiny little bit here. I suppose I'm just being fussy now, aren't I? But it's good to have a nice point there. So again, just roll the edges with your finger and thumb. Just get that out beautifully like that. And similarly on the other side, just going to switch my iron on. That's it. And just roll that out. And then this will press up beautifully. Now also where there you see, where I folded those back, look how I can just pull that across. Oh, it nearly held. But without doing too much at all, those edges are coming in, and that is beautifully straight, which is exactly what we wanted. So let's just get another clip and just hold that on there, and then let's see, I suppose I could get my little mat in. I had a dinky one somewhere, but let's just use the bigger one. Okay, so there is the mat. There is that one. There is that one. And I'm just going to give that a little press. There we are. And here. It's good to give it a press up near that open seam as well, so it's nice and flat. And then we'll do the same here. And there we go. And then here, let's just pull that off. Lovely. Okay, so that is all pressed and ready to go. Okay, so what I am going to do, it's all right, I'm just looking at my little sample here. So I am going to now stitch all the way around the edge because I want to close this seam here. So let's start across here, and I'm going to put my my stitch length up just slightly, so it's about 2.2, and let's start just a little way along there, just so that we can come around that corner. So that is our top that is closed where the opening was. We've closed that up, and I'm stitching nice and close to the edge. Let's do one more stitch there. There we are. I like to stitch nice and close to the edge, and then it makes sure any of those seams that have been tucked in is most definitely stitched. Okay, so nice and slowly out of the corner, which then means that we get the stitches forming properly. Right, so having started just away from the corner, that's so that I can go around it and just stitch over those first few stitches and cut. So we can trim off that little bit of thread, and at the back, I need to get my small scissors out because I get those tiny little ends. Oh, look, that's a bit bigger now. That's it. Trim that off, and that one too. So I've top stitched all the way around there, so we'll do exactly the same. There is my opening, and let's just start along here all the way into that corner. There we are, and turn, and down the side. There we go. into that corner. Oh, please don't. We had rain today earlier on, and I was thinking that sounded like a little bit of thunder, but it isn't. So down this side. There we are. And then just meet along this top edge where we started. There we are. So now you could, I have decided to stitch all the way around the edge. If you wanted to leave that open, you could have done. And then just the stitching. So now what we need to do now, we've got two pieces like this. And what we need to do is to find the center here. So this is my narrower piece. So let's just find the center by folding that in half and putting myself a pin at that center point. Okay, what I tend to do is open it out so that I know that pin is straight. So there is the center of this piece. Then the wider piece, I want to find the center of a short edge. So actually, let's do this one. So if we fold that in half and put a pin in this point here, the center, and then we can just tuck that in a little bit further. Okay, so this is the center point of the short edge, and what we're going to do is line one up on top of the other. So I'm lining my pins up. Can you see how they're lined on top of each other? And I am letting it be about, I'm going to put it this way so that I can see. It is about, what is it? Half an inch down from here. Okay, so I am going to put another little pin just there to hold, and another little pin here to hold. And now I'm going to stitch, don't need this anymore. And now I'm going to stitch down this edge just to the bottom of this. So just down there and just down there. So under the machine, and I'm going to stitch on top of the line that is already stitched. And at the top, I'm just going to go backwards and forwards. And when I get to the bottom, I'm going to do the same. Okay. So then I'm going to flip that around. This is why I've got a pin in, because I don't want this to shift. I want that to stay an exact half an inch along there. So we'll start at this bottom edge here on the stitch line, just reverse. I can take that pin out and go to the top and cut. So, oh, I'm not going to cut that thread off, and then turn it to the back and see if there's some threads there. There is just a little one. Just trim those up because we don't want those getting in the way. Okay, oh, there's one just there. So now we are going to fold this back. We're going to fold it to the line that we've stitched. We've stitched just there. And that all lines up. And we are then going to fold this edge back to sit on top. Okay. And then I'm going to put a clip on there to hold all those layers together. And then on this side, I'm going to lift this flap, and I'm going to lift that up, line it up down that side edge, line it up at the bottom here, and then fold it back so that that stitched edge lines up at the edge just there. And again, I'm going to put a little clip on here just to hold all those layers together. Okay, now you can either do this or not, as the case may be, but you can leave this point out and just press down here, or what I'm going to do, I'm going to stitch very close to that edge. So I can take this clip off and just put it to the side and then flip this over to the machine, and I'm just going to stitch close down this edge, because all it's going to do is going to give me a little pleat. So just reverse there and just stitch down that fold, and it's just holding that fold together even more. Clip that thread off there and there, and then the same on this side here. I want to fold down this inner edge, so let's take that off, keep that folded as it were, and stitch down this edge here. So nice and slowly, because that's fairly thick at that end, but just stitch all the way down to the top. I say down to the top, it is down to the end. So let's just have a look, cut any threads that may be hanging around there. So that is how it was, like this. So now we've got we've given little pleats in there with a little bit more structure. So now we're going to fold that up. You can see what's happening, can't you? And then we're going to fold that down, just like that. So having folded that up, what we're going to do now is just make that go around the bottom. And when that is nice and neatly around, we'll put a clip on just that side. And then at the other side here, we will do exactly the same. Make sure that rounded bit that's going around there is at the same level, and we can put a clip on there. We can then look to see that that is the same length all the way down. I'll just pop it against so that's 2 3/4 there, and 2 3/4. So that is straight across there, which is what we want. And then that is going to come over there. So 2 more lines of stitching to do, and that is, we're going to flip that back and we're going to stitch down this seam here. So this is where my narrow foot comes in really, really well. And again, I'm lining these edges up here, and I'm just going to make sure I reverse at the beginning. I'll take that clip off and then hold that together just to make sure. And then we go down as far, we should be able to get down right to the end there and reverse again. Okay, so we can clip those off and clip that little bit off just there. So that is nice and neatly stitched. Now this one here, we're going to stitch this as well, but we've got to start in at that fold. So you're going to fold that back as much as you can. It's a little bit bulky, but as I say, this is where my little foot, or I can see that's going to be a little bit not as easy for me. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go from the other side. So I'm going to stitch from this side. So I'm going to look, I'll get a pin and stitch from there. I've made that pin and I can see the stitch line. So reversing there, and then I'm just going to fold this back and just look at the sides, take that clip off and making sure that I'm still stitching. You can stitch a little bit further than if you go from the other way. So that has stitched really well. There we go, and we can clip that off there. And what we have is our 1 pocket, 2 pocket pouch with a gusset. So then we can just bring that over, make sure that's nice and straight there, and let's just put a pin to hold that together. And I'm going to measure with my non-existent ruler. My ruler sat here a moment ago because I saw it no that way, and Whoops, there we go. Oh, there it is. It's on the ironing board. Right, so here is my ruler. 1, 2, 3. It happens to be 4.5 across. So we're going to look at the point that is half of that, 2.25. I'm just going to do it a little bit further up. 2.25 is there. So that is my centre point. And I'm now going to get my clippers, because I do like to use these. And I'm going to punch through that hole. So I've got the marking there. So I'm just going to clip that. That's made a nice little hole, which now when I fold that over, there we are, making sure that's, I can now use my pen to mark through that hole, and I can see where I need to punch the other hole. So again, pop that in over the hole and punch. So I've got my 2 little holes ready. I think, oh, and I haven't got enough left. I think the ideal would have been a gold one. It most definitely would, but I think I'm going to have to, I could put clear, but a cream one, I don't really think, let's see, a gold one. A gold one is perfect. So I'm going to raid my stash. I've got those 2 bits. Why I haven't got a, oh, I know what I could do, because we won't see it. I'm going to put, it's only on the top. I'm going to have a clear one, which the clear one can go on the inside. So the top one here, let's put that clear one out of the way, needs the outie. So I've popped that hole in there, and I'm going to put that on there, and then I'm just going to grab my prim pliers and pop the button in the cup and press. So there is my first one. Now, as I said, I've got that bit which is going to go on the top, but where have I just put my clear one out of the way, I thought. And because it's clear, I can't see it. No, I probably pressed it onto the floor. So let's just grab another one. That's probably why I haven't got the other gold one, because I've grabbed it before and dropped it. Right, so I've got a clear one here, as you can see. So as I'm not going to see it, it can go on the inside. It's come up there. Pop that one on and into the button, clench together, and there we have the 2 parts, and clip together. So there we are, a lovely little pouch. There we go. Whoops. Let's see if I've got any. No, got no comments as yet there, but never mind. I'm ready to, what does that say there? With the, will the panel coordinating fabric be able to purchase? Will the panel, it comes with the panel. It will all, I have used all the fabric I had to go with the panels. If there should be any left at the end of the day, I will let you know, and I will put it on the website, but at the minute I have got all the fabrics have gone onto the website, and there was the same amount of fabric for the panels as there was in the coordinating fabric as well. Okay, let us see. Oh, we are here. Okay, so there it is. It was a nice quick make, wasn't it? And I think Let's just have a look what's gone on here. No, there we are. Oh, it's come back again. I want the chat bit to come. I want to see what people are saying. Chat, say video, who can comment on it? Oh, swipe. Oh, no. Comments. There they are. Okay, so that's fine. Oh, there's Nikki. Hello, Nikki. Another lovely Christmas mate. Lovely. Suzanne loves it too. Okay. Right. So here it is. This is what we've just made. 2 pockets. I think it was something a little bit different. Well, we've got the same outcome, but it's nice and easy from 2 pieces of fabric, basically, which you fold and then stitch in that certain way, and it works out really, really nicely. So my other one, so in everyday fabrics, was this one here, but here it is in a Christmassy piece as well. So I will just quickly, where did I put them there? I'll quickly run through what we have on offer tonight. I can't see that. Just looking down these. Oh, well, the rest of the comments have gone. Never mind. There they are. So the fabrics that we have are, there are 4 half meters in the midnight blue, which I'm trying to quickly find for you now. So there is a stripe and a Christmas tree. So the midnight blue here, you've got the snowflake. Let's just turn that back a little bit. The snowflakes here. I might even stand up. There we go. So you've got the lovely midnight blue with silver snowflakes, scroll, Christmas trees, and a stripe, all with beautiful metallic foiling. Those are, excuse me, these are 4 half meters for £20. We then have the red, green, and cream. So you've got the green with holly, you've got the red with snowflakes, and the cream with trees, which is really lovely too. But the 3 combined go very well together. So those are 3 half meters for £15. We then have individual half meters. This one is Snowstorm at £5 for half a meter. So Snowstorm there. We have got Snowflakes white on silver. Can you see that foiling? White on silver snowflakes. I mean silver on white even. And then we've got the lovely scroll, which I think somebody said earlier had sold out, but that was my very last of it. Then we have stars. So these are silver on white, silver foiling. And then we go on to ivory with gold holly leaves and scrolly parts to them as well. And then we have the one I used, that was in the lining. This one is what I used for the outer purse tonight. So it looks really, where's it gone? Under there. So there it is. There is my little purse made from the fabric. Really works quite well. Non-directional, so it doesn't matter because we're folding it. So because we're folding this pouch, do think about the direction of your fabric, because it will make a difference. If you have directional fabric, you can make it work that it's the right way up here, and here it'll be the right way up, but it will be the wrong way up on the back. And then as it comes over the top, it will become the right way again. So if you don't mind absolutely fine. Use your directional fabrics. But that's got a nice bit of body. You know, it's not flimsy. Nice from the side. And you could use this technique to make bigger or smaller ones as well. Okay, so thank you. Let's see. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Judith. Thank you, Mary, Virginia, Bev, and Pippa. Oh, and Susan, it is a beautiful blue. And Marion, thank you. And Patricia and Susan. Oh. Okay, so take care of yourselves. I will be back tomorrow. Who knows what it could be tomorrow? It may be that it's only, yes, it might be. I'm not saying any more, but I shall sort things out tomorrow. I'll be with you at 5. I will have another project, just 2 more to go. And yeah, and then it'll be Friday again. So take care of yourselves, enjoy your evening, and I'll be back tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Bye for now.